Hi everyone, it's me, Rogue Assassin, finally doing another video after all this time. It's very hot where I am right now. The power's been cutting off and on a few times during the day, and I was struggling even to make a video because my battery's flat, need my tablet to charge, and when I get around and able to do a video, it's in the middle of the night, and I don't like doing videos in the middle of the night because I might wake up someone. So rather do it somewhere in the day. And even in the day, I'm sick. I was very sick as well. So continuing on, this is What If Deku Was Abandoned Part 2. Well, a lot of you were posting for Part 2 and I was trying to hold off on this What If, but I just can't hold it back anymore. A lot of you want Part 2 and I'm going to give it to you right here. Now, if you're confused with Deku's abilities in this What If, just think of an anime character named, just think of this anime character, Psyche. All of Psyche's abilities Deku has: X-ray vision, telekinesis, he can see into the future sort of, pyrokinesis, hydrokinesis, yeah, the list goes on. Technokinesis? Is that what they call it? He can manipulate sound. He can basically make illusions. He can communicate telepathically. Okay, I just lost the one spot that was quiet now. I'll be speaking a bit more softly now because I'm going to be disturbed a lot. I know this. I'm in the lounge now. Everyone's awake and the doors are all open. There's no quiet place for me to basically do this video. And if my granny comes in, I'm going to have to stop the video immediately because this is going to be a whole lot of problems. But continuing on, let's continue the video. Yes, Deku is going to have all base Psyche's abilities and some of the abilities like I mentioned. He's also going to have more abilities like controlling the weather. um, I don't even know what the ability is called. There was a name for it but I don't remember, and a bit more abilities that he's not supposed to have. He's going to be a psychic, obviously. He's not going to have a quirk in this one. And continuing, and we just got to 2 minutes. Let's begin. So I don't remember where I left off, so I'm just gonna assume where I last left off. Deku is at his house. I'm assuming Deku is at his house. Now let's begin this video. This What If is going to be, jeez Louise. Okay, I'm in another spot now. Just got disturbed again. You can see why I was struggling to do videos. Because me moving up and down the house looking for a quiet room to just do a what if in peace is hard for me. Oh no. Hold up. Okay. No? Okay, never mind. Okay, let's continue this what if. As I think we stopped in Deku's house somewhere a few days before, and I'm gonna give you a timeline on when the entrance exam is going to happen. This door. Okay, holy shiz, I can't do a what if in peace. There must be something to disturb me in this room. Then I have to move to the lounge. Then I have to move to another spot that's quiet. It's working on my nerves right now. This is why I didn't want to do a what if right now, and I was holding off, but never mind. Biggest gonna be Tuesdays, and I already started this what if. Let's continue. The timeline of where we are starting is supposed to be the villain attack is supposed to happen right now. So I'm gonna say that it's the next morning and Deku is just going out for a run. Just noted, Deku does not need to go to school because he does online school. So yeah, that's the reason why Deku doesn't go to school in this what if. As Deku is just busy taking a small jog, Right now, the school children, the school year is over. It's the last year of basically in the anime. It's basically the anime time when the sludge villain attacks. Yeah, it's basically after school, the end of the school year. As Izuku is just taking a small jog as he runs under a bridge as he still gets attacked by the sludge villain. As if I said that the sludge villain didn't attack Deku this time, forget what I said because I'm changing this time. As this sludge villain attacks Deku, as Deku dodges up, actually jumps out of the way quickly, he can sense the sludge villain. As Deku turns around as he does not know what had just attacked him, but he's about to find out now as the sludge villain is there as he's like, "Give me your body, kid. I didn't know the freak was in town." As Deku says in his mind, "Wait, is this a villain?" Well, if this is a villain, then he chose the wrong person to attack as the sludge villain lunges at Deku as Deku brings out his hand as the sludge villain stops in midair as Deku is using his telekinesis as Deku forces his mind to sleep. Basically, he breaks into his mind and knocks the sludge villain out in his mind as the sludge villain basically goes unconscious as Deku takes a few he's basically panting a little bit as that didn't take a lot out of him. Location change again, I had to move. Okay, back to the same spot in the lounge. Okay, let's do this. As the sludge villain is knocked out, as Deku puts it in a close nearby bottle as he closes it, as All Might says the same signature words, "I am here." As Deku's like, "Oh, All Might." Deku's not gonna fanboy over All Might because his parents and mother left him at a very young age. So, yeah, he was raised as a child. Right? He had to raise himself as a child and get, how can I say it, intelligent very quickly. As Izuku is just seeing this man in front of him, as it's All Might obviously, as he's like, "Oh, All Might, hey, well, I guess you're looking for this, so here." As All Might's like, "Oh, thank you, young man. Did you defeat this villain?" As Deku says, "No, no, no. For some reason he was hiding in a bottle." Deku lies to All Might. And if you're wondering why Deku's lying to All Might, he doesn't want to give All Might the idea that he has a quirk. Because he himself knows it's not a quirk. He wants to keep this a secret. Because everyone knows him as a quirkless person. As All Might's like, "Hiding in a bottle? Yes, I saw this weird sludge thing in this bottle, so I immediately just picked the bottle up and closed it. And then I just realized it was a villain, so yeah, I just found him like this." As All Might's like, "Huh, pretty strange, young one." But anyway, as All Might realizes his time is expiring, as All Might says, "I have to go, young one. See you later then." As All Might jumps away, as Izuku doesn't hold on to him this time because he doesn't wanna. He knows, like, if he says that, asks if he can be a hero without a quirk, he knows what the All Might's gonna say. He has a feeling. As Izuku starts walking away, as he thinks in his mind, this world is cruel. If you don't have this quirk gene thing, you are basically powerless and ignored, and basically bullied for having no power. You can't defend yourself because people that has this quirk thing gains interesting abilities and gains yeah. Sorry about that. Yo, I was getting into a moment there, but I got disturbed by a sneeze. As Deku says, people without a quirk can't defend themselves because people with a quirk have either a small edge over quirkless people or a very big one. And that edge could be throwing fire, making ice. Okay, I'm back again. Another quiet spot. I mean, I keep on finding these quiet spots, but they don't last until someone just breaks in and disturbs. But continuing on. As Izuku walks and thinks about all the quirkless people that can't fight back against this quirk gene that people have, as it's kind of unfair because people with quirks get all the attention, whether people without quirks, well, they're just nobodies. They're worthless to this world. As Deku basically makes a fist as he tightens it as he says, "But I'll be the first. I'll be the first quirkless person to show that I have power. And this power will be stronger than any quirk that ever came before." As Izuku looks up and says, "I will be the number one hero, and I'll show the world that a quirkless person can do anything." As Izuku basically smiles as he says this in his head, but he's gonna continue on and just recap on what Deku does for a living. Well, obviously, like I said, he's basically a fashion designer, I guess. He makes different clothes, he models, as also he's a DJ. Oh no, gonna get disturbed again, hold up. He's also a music maker or a DJ, like I stated. He makes he's basically a art basically makes music or DJs, one of the two, depending on which one you want to go with. As I'm really not going to get into anything deeper into that. He's created a fan base, but he's two different people, actually three, because one, he's a different, like, he doesn't like using his DJ name if he's an artist making clothes or fashion, because he wants to be just known as, when he's doing making clothes, he wants to just be known as this person. You know, he's three people in one. So he's hiding his identity as well. But I'm not gonna go too deep, as we're gonna continue a few days after the just a few days after the few days after the entrance exam. He back in the lounge again, and this is not funny. I'm getting ticked off by the second. It's always it's always my granny that disturbs me because she walks up and down, and I'm not gonna say anything about her because that will just be rude. So I'm just gonna leave it off that she's always the one disturbing me, and sometimes my sister. But yeah, I really just move without complaining. I'm just moving up and down from my room to the lounge every time I get disturbed. As many. No, I think I left off at yeah, the entrance exam. As 3 days before the entrance exam starts, we see Izuku visiting the Bakugo residence. As he says hi to Bakugo's mom and father, obviously, as Bakugo basically corners Deku. As Bakugo states, "Deku, don't take the test, man. To be honest with you, I want you to take the test. I want you to try, but don't take it." As Bakugo asks Deku not to take the test, as Bakugo says, "Dude, listen, I don't want you to get badly injured in that test. You're quirkless. We both know that, and you could get hurt." As Izuku tells Bakugo, Bakugo, you're my best friend, and I know you're worried about me. So, let me tell you something. Don't be. I don't want you to be worried about me and you to protect me all the time. I want to choose my own path and protect myself. So, thanks for the worry, Bakugo, but I'll be fine in that test. You just make sure you pass, and I'll make sure I'll pass as well. Okay, okay. No one's gonna disturb me. Okay. Continuing on, as that small moment happened with Bakugo, as they hanged out 3 days later, and Deku has been training with his quirk. It's just very discreetly, only when he's alone. As Deku enters the basically entrance exam, as he basically takes the written test, passed it obviously. As the next thing, okay, I swear to God, the next time I am disturbed, it's going straight outside. Because if I'm disturbed outside, I'm basically gonna end the video because I can't take this much of disturbance. I had to move again. And you guys can count how much times I've moved in a video. Continuing on, as Izuku basically is taking the entrance exam with Bakugo, as Izuku is walking to the gate, as he doesn't trip this time. Instead, he gets bumped by somebody on the shoulder, or shoulder checked, to be more specific, as Bakugo shoulder checked him, as he says, okay nerd, if you're gonna take this exam, and this is after the written test, as Bakugo says, okay nerd, if you're gonna take this exam, don't die. Got it? As Bakugo says, and he states this with a serious face, as Deku's like, don't worry, I won't die, and I'll outmatch you with flying colors. As Bakugo smirks, he's like, in your dreams, nerd. As basically Deku smiles as well. Bakugo doesn't think Deku will outmatch him in points, but he'll be surprised. As they go to their respective sections, they take the bus obviously. As Izuku is looking around at this while President Mike is busy explaining, as he's looking around, as President Mike states, when that gate opens you run in. As President Mike says, basically starts a countdown as the gate opens, as Izuku already started running. As everyone's looking at Izuku, as they're looking at it, like President Mike, as President Mike's like, follow that kid's example, go! There's no countdown in a battle. As everyone just starts running after Izuku, Ida's the first one to pass him. Izuku is not using any of his strength or speed because he wants to save that for a last resort. As Izuku is not using his speed, he's only using his strength. As Izuku basically dodges a one pointer as he jumps, runs up the one pointer's arm, as he basically kicks their head straight off. As Izuku kicks the head straight off, as it hits the other one pointer at the back of it. As if you're confused on why Deku can do this, because this is another one of Psychic's abilities, super strength and speed. Psyche has super strength, he has super speed. As just Deku's using only the super strength for now. As it hits the robot, another one pointer, as Deku's now eliminating one pointers. as he's also scanning using his telekinesis, or yeah, telekinesis. He's scanning through basically people who is basically needs help, as he's getting rescue points as well, as he keeps on basically breaking 1 pointers, 2 pointers, and he's also come across like a few 3 pointers as he destroyed as well. As the time is getting lower, as Izuku is destroying robot after robot, as we see the 0 pointer come up as in canon, as Izuku as well, as Izuku looks up and says, well, isn't that just a bit excessive? As it's massive, as Uraraka is screaming for help, as in canon, as Deku rushes in, as he's using his super speed this time, as he's pretty fast, as he gets to her in minutes, as Deku lifts the rubble off of her with ease, as he picks her up bridal style, starts running back, as this thing is still basically chasing after him, as he stops, as he says, well, I need to stop this thing from moving, as Izuku starts using his, can't think of the name of the ability now, but he's able to make basically control objects. Have I been using the wrong name the entire time? I can't tell. Ah, forget it. I'll basically remember the name as I do this what if. As Izuku stops the 0 pointer, as he's like lifted slightly off the ground as he's pushing it back, as Izuku is trying his hardest now to push this massive thing backwards, as the like basically he's pushing this thing backwards, but he's not destroying it, he's just buying people time, as he picks up a rock using his power as it's floating in midair, as he throws it with such speed and strength with his power. Obviously, it goes right through the robot's head, as the robot just switches off, powers down, and drops. As Izuku made it drop as light as possible to cause the less amount of damage. As Izuku starts panting, as his nose starts bleeding, as he's like, now Izuku has a hell of a headache because he used a lot of his ability as he pushed himself with his mind abilities. As Izuku's nose is bleeding, as basically he's keeping his nose in the air to prevent it from bleeding. As Recovery Girl comes across, as she sees Izuku with his nose, holding his nose in the air, as she heals him, as it stops bleeding, as Izuku's like, thank you, as Recovery Girl's like, no problem, it's just that quirk of yours is pretty powerful, but it has a drawback. If you can't, it has a drawback, and I think it affects your mind. Because she's a doctor, she can tell what quirk can affect certain things, as she can tell is this quirk or that Izuku has can affect Izuku's mind. So if he strains his mind and uses this quirk too much, basically you'll be damaging his mind. As she tells Izuku to be very careful with the way he uses his quirk and how long he uses it for. As she also warns him not to strain his mind, or else he'll be getting more nosebleeds every day. As Izuku's like, yes, okay, yes, ma'am, doesn't know her name yet. As Izuku as Izuku walks off, but before he walks off, he basically Uraraka thanks him. As Izuku's like, no problem, I gotta go now. As Izuku walks off, as he's walking back home, as Uraraka waves him goodbye, as he waves back, as he is wondering if Bakugo got in. As the next day, I'm gonna skip to the next day, as Izuku got his mail. Yeah, just the next day, Izuku got the mail. As Izuku placed, I would say fourth, as Bakugo placed fifth. There were other people that topped him, but Izuku was the only one in his test, other than Bakugo, were the only one other than Bakugo that in his test that was able to destroy the zero pointer robot. So yeah, as instead of All Might like appearing, it was Principal Nezu that congratulated him and says that you're basically welcome to your UA high school, as or Hero Academy to be more specific, as Izuku is basically proud of himself. As we're gonna cut to the teacher's room on before they like sent the letters out. Sir Principal Nezu can't make out on what just happened. Yeah, the basically a quirkless person gained fourth place with rescue points, as he appears to have some super strength, super speed, and the ability he showed appears the backlash affects his mind, is what a recovery girl says. As it's stated on his report, he's quirkless. As this confused the hell out of Principal Nezu, as he stated, it's probably he probably got his quirk only like recently, so that's why it wasn't updated. So as the that's like small flashback, as the disc also told that Izuku must go to Recovery Co as soon as he enters UA to have his quirk checked out and updated immediately, as Izuku thinks, well, it's not actually a quirk that I use, but I'll just I'll just go with the flow, I guess. As Izuku goes to UA, nothing interesting happens. As yeah, the only interesting things that happened, Izuku had a concert, as most of the UA graduates were there, such as Bakugo, Ida, all the characters we know in My Hero Academia was at the concert. Deku was obviously the person singing, as Deku was wearing a mask. Izuku's wearing this clothes to the concert, as his mask that he's wearing. Yes, he's wearing this mask. He's also named Obito for his alias. Yes, the DJ name he chose is Obito. As he I'm basically gonna leave you on that. He's wearing the hoodie, the cap. He's not actually wearing the cap, he's just wearing the hoodie. He's not wearing the mask, he's not wearing the cap, just the hoodie and the mask. As he calls himself Obito. As he's basically playing a single that he made. I'm not gonna make up a single right now, but you can come up with your own singles if you want. Nah, I think I got just say the single is Legends Live Forever. And for Christ's sakes, I'm just gonna say it's the Minato song. For Christ's sakes, because seriously, I can't come. I just have that song in my head right now. Yeah, Minato's song Legends Live Forever. I think it was by. Gosh, I don't remember his name, but you can go find it yourself because I'm not gonna dwell on another person's music video. But that's the song that's busy playing, and a few other songs that you can imagine. As uh, everyone is there, including Mina, Jiro, Ida, a lot of like UA people that graduated are there as they're celebrating. As Mina and Ashiro got I wouldn't say I got a VIP tickets. Yes, VIP tickets to the concert. Know why? Because they have met Deku. Like in my last video, if you didn't watch it, they have met him, so that's how they got the tickets in the first place. As they are in the VIP section, as they are also celebrating that they graduated. As the concert ends, nothing interesting happens there. Obviously, Deku doesn't meet them again, Jiro and Mina, but he does see them in the VIP section, and he did wave to them. Obviously, he did like show a sort of wave, but some people thought he was waving to them. So yeah, you can most imagine. Continuing on because I'm dwelling on this too long. After the concert that happened, they enter UA. Obviously, UA as Izuku is looking through the classrooms, looking for 1A. As he is going through the school, 1A, 1A, he has went to Recovery Girl already, as Recovery Girl has checked out his quirk to be some sort of telekinesis quirk, I guess you can say. As Izuku is running through UA hallway, he's basically going through UA. It's like he's running, but he's actually walking fast. As Izuku's like 1A, class 1A, class 1A, class 1A, class 1A, there. As he sees this massive door, as he's like, who needs a massive door like this? As Izuku says to himself, as he opens the door, as he sees a lot of people. He sees Bakuro and Ida, he sees Jiro and Mina. As Deku just freezes in front of the door, as basically the first people he saw was Jiro and Mina, until it basically clicked in his head he's not wearing his mask, so they won't recognize him, and they won't also recognize his voice because he wears a voice muffler when he goes out in public, just to cover his voice. As he's like, I'm not in my character yet. Ah. As he shakes out, like out of his shock, as he looks at Bakuro, as Bakuro's walking up to him, as he's like, oh crikes, as Bakuro's like, you damn nerd, you lied to me, you said you were quirkless. Damn, why? As Bakuro was busy shaking Izuku, as Izuku's going up and down while Bakugo's shaking him, as Bakugo's screaming in his face, why didn't you tell me you had a quirk? Seriously, I'm your best friend, and you don't tell me that. As he stops shaking him, as he does cross arms, look away. As Deku's like, well, if I told you I had a quirk, I wouldn't be able to surprise you and get into UA. As Bakuro was like, yeah, I guess so. You did surprise me. As also, he also was in front of Bakuro. As he also says that, yeah, and I did get 4th place. As Bakuro is like, yeah, I guess you did keep your promise that you weren't gonna die and you were gonna surpass me in a way. But still, I'm gonna do my best to surpass you. Just you watch it, Deku. As Izuku nods his head, he's like, yeah, good luck with that, Bakugo. Because I'm gonna try my best to stay ahead of you. As Bakugo and Deku smirk, as they have a small rivalry, as Ida comes in, as he basically does the same thing in canon. But instead of apologizing to Deku, he just like tells Deku that he is a better learner than he is, that he saw through the test, as Deku tries to brush it off that it was just dumb luck. He didn't actually know that there were hero points, as we see Mr. Zawa, the same person, come through the door flopping in his bag. Uraka also appears, does the same thing that she does. As we see Masazawa flop through the door, as he falls on the floor, as Izuku looks at him, as he says, so, you're our teacher, I guess, as Masazawa looks up at Deku, as he's like, yes, I'm your homeroom teacher. As he stands up, as he stays his same old, it took you, I don't know how long, I forgot how long to shut up, but That like basically I don't know how long it took them to be quiet, but Mr. Zhao. But if you watch the anime, you would know how long. As Mr. Zawa says, well, that won't do. As he pulls out his basically their UA uniform, as he states, now get dressed in this and meet me outside. As Mr. Zawa basically takes off the bag and walks out. As Izuku doesn't question it, he just grabs it and walks away. As basically, like he did, like just grab the clothes and walk away before Uraraka could say anything. As Deku was just going with the flow. He's just really doesn't. He just doesn't. He's not questioning his homeroom teacher, because if he's learned something, is to not question your homeroom teacher in what he can or can't do. Because because this is a hero school. He knows that firstly, and the rules are different here. As Izuku heads to the changing room, as he changes, no interaction happens here except for Mineta basically peeping for a hole. As Jiro is basically does the same thing in canon, but before Jiro could poke him in the eye, Izuku uses his telekinesis. Basically, Mineta starts floating as Izuku brings Mineta towards him, as he starts smiling in a scary way, as he says, "If you dare look at those girls through that hole, I swear to you, I'm gonna," as basically he says, "I swear to you, I'm going to," as he smiles. He doesn't complete that last, like, sentence, as this makes even Bakuro gulp, as he's like, wow, Deku has changed a lot, as Bakuro says in his mind, as basically Deku gets dressed. As Jiro was about to handle the pervert that was gonna look through the hole, but seems like yeah, it seems like Midoriya handled it. As Jiro's like, well, it seems like Midoriya handled that. Let's get basically Jiro cuts it off of, okay, that was close. She just chalks it up to that. As basically everyone's outside now as the quirk test is gonna go. The quirk test shall begin, as Mr. Azao says, the quirk test shall begin as he gives it to the, I would say that the person that got first is not in UA. So the person that got first, second and third is not in UA, because like class 1A, they're in another class, because like certain teachers took certain children, and Mr. Zawa asked for Bakugo and Deku personally, because they both have powerful quirks, as he wants to keep a closer eye on Izuku. As basically Bakugo has to go first, as Bakugo does the same thing with his explosions, as he still screams die, as the ball goes far, as it's Izuku's turn, as Izuku starts making the ball float, as Mr. Zawa activates his quirk. Nothing happens, which shocks Mr. Zawa. His quirk still goes on, because it's not a quirk to begin with. He's using his own power, as Mr. Zawa can't tell what's happening. As Mr. Zawa's gonna basically stay quiet on this, as we see All Might at the background still busy spying, as he sees like Mr. Zawa activate his quirk, but Izuku's quirk didn't deactivate, as like this also confused like All Might, as All Might says that he needs to keep a closer eye on that boy, as he remembers that boy with the bottle. He remembers him, as Izuku makes the ball float, as it floats all the way like Uraka did to infinity, as the two people that got infinity was Uraka and Deku, so they are tied for that. Um, Speed test, Deku got third, I would say Ida got. I would say Deku got second. Ida, yeah, Ida got first. Deku got second. Bakugo got third. Because I would say Ida's reciprocal burst kind of distracted Deku in a way. Because Deku it's giving him. He's sort of giving it his all, in a way, but he hasn't unlocked all his abilities. So he's not giving it all his power. So strength test, Deku got first this time because yeah, he just got first. He's stronger than everyone in the class, except for the one that can eat cake and get stronger. Um, he was just not fully prepared. He was actually surprised that Deku broke the machine just like him, as he got first because that was the last recording strength number was. Uh, Bigger than, yeah, the one that eats cake and gets stronger. As high jump, Deku got second because Uraka can get first in that one because of a quirk. And long distance jump, also Deku got second. Uraka wings takes the cake on this one. As Deku basically gets, how can I say it? He gets third. No, he gets second as the person who got first. The person who got first, I would say it's more to kin to Todoroki, because Todoroki has been keeping a good pace between third, second, and first. No, no. Let's just say, yeah, let's just say Todoroki got first in this one, because I don't know how that all point combining system works. So I'm just gonna say Todoroki got first by a smidge, like just 1 point difference, as Deku got second. As Deku basically starts, he's huffing right now because he's straining his quirk now, or his mind, as Deku is rubbing his temples as he has a headache. Mr. Zawa can see that as he starts bleeding by the nose a bit, as Mr. Zawa tells Deku to go to Recovery Girl and rest up because it looks like he overused his quirk. As Deku says yes, Mr. Zawa, as he heads to Recovery Girl. Mr. Recovery Girl heals him up, as basically Deku is resting there in the recovery office, and he leaves. Nothing too different there, as the same people still walks with him, Uraka, Ida, and we have another person that is joining Deku, Bakugo. As Bakugo is walking with Kurishima and Kirishima, Mina, Denki, yeah, those three. Those three and plus Jiro. I think Jiro's also there. So basically they're all walking in one group now. Because the first two people that caught up with Deku was Uraraka and Ida. Then the second person that caught up with him was Bakugo, with the people that followed behind him, Denki, Kirishima, Mina, and Jiro. As they are all busy talking, as it's awkward for Deku because Deku knows Jiro and Mina, as it's awkward, but he's hiding it very well, so they don't know that Deku is kind of uncomfortable with Mina and Jiro there. So as Uraka still asks the question, why does Bakugo call you Deku? As Bakugo, that was actually a name to make fun of me. As Deku says, but I'm gonna change that name. As he still says he's gonna change that name to mean something else. As she still gives him the idea of what it could mean, a double meaning. As Ida still basically says that that's kind of a good idea. As Deku says, yeah, that's kind of a good hero. That's kind of a good hero. He's not gonna say hero name. It's kind of a good name because it has a double-edged meaning. As they all walk home, Izuku walks home. As yeah, I'm gonna stop it here because no interaction so far. No, I'm gonna continue because if I look at, yeah, I'm gonna continue. 45. No, I'm just gonna stop it here. Never mind, because I'm thinking now on what should come next, and I just realized I'm not gonna. You know what? This is a good place to stop it off because I just been disturbed for the fifth, sixth, I don't know, even no seventh time, and I'm losing it right now. So until the next video, and I hopefully the next video doesn't get disturbed that very often. But see you later, guys. Until next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment on how this episode was, and what changes and things I should add into the what if. Because every time you tell me to add something new, change something, do a what if, I do comment back on it, and I do take any ideas that you can give me. So comment, like, subscribe, especially because subscribing helps me for you to basically get my notifications on every video that I upload. And also there's a subscriber goal. If we can get to 250 subscribers, I will do a subscriber special and it will be my anime subscriber. And here comes the disturbance now, so until the next video guys, bye!